In the history of Jefferson High School, no one had ever voluntarily walked into the janitor's closet. It was a place of industrial cleaners and humming machinery, a world hidden behind the main stage. But for 14-year-old Maya, it was the only stage she had ever known. While her father, Carlos, mopped the hallways outside, Maya would stand among the mop buckets and sing her heart out to the ghosts in the rafters. Tonight, those ghosts are about to have company. Before we dive into the story of the night everything changed, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel for more incredible stories of ordinary people achieving the extraordinary. The annual Spring Talent Showcase at Jefferson High was the same every year. The same nervous freshmen playing the same overcooked rendition of Fur Elise, the same dance crew that practiced the same routine since the 6th grade, and the same predictable winner, Amberly Collins, the drama teacher's daughter, who would inevitably perform a technically perfect but emotionally empty pop song. The audience, a mix of proud parents and bored students, settled in for another evening of comfortable predictability. Backstage, the atmosphere was thick with hairspray and anxiety. But in a dark, forgotten corner near the stage-left curtains, a different kind of energy was building. Maya, a small girl with eyes that held a universe of quiet observation, was trying to calm her racing heart. She wasn't on the official list. Her name wasn't printed in the glossy program. Her presence was a secret, a tiny rebellion she hadn't even told her father about. Her father, Carlos, was somewhere in the building, likely on his hands and knees scrubbing a spill in the cafeteria. He took immense pride in his work, in keeping the school clean for the students. He was a ghost in their lives, a friendly wave in the hallway, the man who knew everyone's name but whom few took the time to know. He and Maya lived in a small apartment on the edge of town, and every evening, he'd come home exhausted but always with a smile, asking about her day. What he didn't know was that while he cleaned, Maya had been secretly practicing with the choir teacher, Mrs. Davison. Mrs. Davison had heard her humming one day and had been stunned into silence. For the past 3 months, she had been coaching Maya, pouring her own unused dreams into the girl's raw, astonishing talent. The show was winding down. The principal was on stage, about to announce the final, official act. And now, to close our show, please welcome back our own, Amberly Collins. As polite applause filled the auditorium, a sudden power surge, or perhaps a faulty cable, sent a loud screech through the speakers. The lights flickered and died for a full 5 seconds, plunging the stage into darkness. When they flickered back on, the principal was standing there, confused, and Amberly was frozen at the edge of the stage. But another figure was now standing center stage, bathed in a single spotlight that had somehow reset itself. It was Maya. She was trembling, clutching a piece of paper with the lyrics to a song her mother used to sing to her, a woman they had lost 3 years ago. The principal frowned. The sound guy frantically tried to find the right microphone. But Maya, seeing her father's worn-out sneakers enter the back of the auditorium, mop in hand, ready to start his post-event cleaning, found her courage. She walked to the lone microphone stand and gently pushed the stunned principal aside. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Who was this girl? Was that the janitor's daughter? Before anyone could stop her, she began to sing. But it wasn't the song on her paper. Seeing her father there, a wave of emotion washed over her, and she opened her mouth and began to sing an aria from an opera her father used to play on an old record player at home. It was in Italian, a language she didn't speak, but she sang it with a purity and power that seemed to come from somewhere beyond her small frame. The first note silenced the murmurs. The second note made people sit up straighter. By the time she reached the first crescendo, the entire auditorium was held in a state of suspended disbelief. This wasn't just good. This wasn't just a cute kid singing. This was a voice of breathtaking, soul-shaking talent. It was the sound of 1,000 unshed tears, of quiet nights spent dreaming, of a love so profound it could only be expressed in song. It filled every corner of the room, washing over the stunned students, the open-mouthed teachers, and finally reaching the back where Carlos stood. His mop clattered to the floor. He stared at his daughter, his little girl, commanding the stage with a voice he had only ever heard whispered in their tiny living room. A single tear traced a path through the dust on his cheek. As the final, powerful note hung in the air, there was a moment of absolute silence. Then, the auditorium erupted. It wasn't just applause, it was a roar. A standing ovation. People were crying, cheering, some were simply shaking their heads in disbelief. Amberly Collins stood in the wings, her own performance utterly forgotten, her expression a mix of awe and humility. The principal, completely flustered, rushed back to the microphone. That was, who are you? He asked. Maya, breathless and wide-eyed at the reaction, simply pointed to the back of the room. I'm Maya, she said, her voice small again, I'm his daughter. Every single person in the auditorium turned to look at Carlos, the janitor, who was standing in a puddle of dirty water, weeping with a pride so fierce it seemed to light him up from the inside. In that moment, the janitor's closet was no longer a hidden world. Its secret had been sung to the heavens, and it had changed everything. From which part of the country are you watching this incredible story unfold tonight? Let us know in the comments below.